Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about imagery. Imagery can be used in any aspects of our life when we are learning a skill or practicing it. It can also be used for meditating. So let's talk about it today. If you have any questions, don't forget to write them down and ask me at the end of the presentation. Today we will start our lesson with 2 minutes of imagery on the beach. It will take about 2 minutes. Sit relaxed with your eyes closed. Take a deep breath. Think of laying on a day. Focus on the sounds, seagulls, waves, a child screaming. Focus on the humidity on your skin, the sunshine when it warms your skin, the water that touches your feet. Focus on smells, the blue sky above you with beautiful clouds. Slowly open your eyes. Could you enjoy it? Could you imagine it? Our learning objectives are, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to define the imagery, explain what visualization is, name 5 types of imagery, explain why imagery works, name 3 benefits of imagery in performing a task, name Gagne's 9 events of instruction. Imagery plays an important role in the writing field, but it is not exclusive to it. All other physical and mental skills can also benefit from it. Visual, auditory, olfactory or smell, gustatory or taste, tactile or touch are easy to visualize. But how about organic imagery? Personal experiences of a character's body, including emotions and the senses of hunger, thirst, fatigue, and pain, are called organic imagery. Kinesthetic imagery is the representation of the actions and movements of an object or a character, like beating of heart, breathing, playing, sport. Divide a sheet of paper into 7 rows and label like this: visual, smell, auditory, touch, organic, taste, and kinesthetic. Now name 2 examples for each section. There are some examples of imagery here. Are they similar to yours? Martinez says, through imagery, you can recreate previous positive experiences or picture new events to prepare yourself mentally for performance. Imagery is an experience similar to a sensory experience, but arising in the absence of the usual external stimuli. Pavo also says the framework is based on evidence that imagery meditates behavior through either cognitive or motivational mechanisms, which affect specific or general response system. The most common imagery is the imagery of sight because it is the easiest sense to articulate. Painting a mental picture is another way to think about visual imagery. Visual imagery is a memory technique that involves constructing mental images when learning new skills or practicing previous experiences. Does it work? Why? Imagine events have a similar effect on the nervous system and mental processes as actual events. Is our brain smart? Unfortunately, not. The brain can't tell the difference between vividly imagined events and the real ones. And finally, the central nervous system processes imagined information as it does a real experience. Thus, imagery works by helping you create a blueprint for a performing or creative skill such as sport, writing, or any other skills that you can think of. Strong mental blueprint helps make the skill automatic. How imagery works? There are three theories about it. According to psychoneuromuscular theory, imagery facilitates the learning of motor skills because of the nature of the neuromuscular activity patterns activated during imaging. Vividly imagined events intervene the muscles in somehow the same way that physically practicing the movement does. Symbolic learning argues that imagery may function as a coding system to help people understand and acquire movement patterns. Leaving a blueprint is the key according to this theory. And finally, mental skill hypothesis argues that imagery functions as a preparatory set that assists in achieving an optimal arousal level. Imagery helps build psychological skills that are critical to performance enhancement, such as confidence, concentration, and stress management. Okay, let's practice imagery in the writing field. Listen carefully and answer to the questions that are in the video.
We have five senses. Writers often appeal to these senses to bring their stories to the reader's imagination. For example, what sense is the author appealing to in this sentence? The author is appealing to the sense of taste. What other senses might a writer appeal to? Can you envision this moment? This is because its writer is appealing to the sense of sight. Can you hear it? This is because its writer uses words that suggest sounds. Writers also can suggest the sense of touch. Finally, writers can appeal to the sense of smell. All of these examples use imagery. Imagery appears when a writer appeals to the five senses. Imagery helps bring the passage to the reader's imagination. Which senses does this sentence appeal to?
Factors affecting imagery effectiveness. Imagery ability. People who are able to create accurate and lifelike images benefit more. Imagery vividness. Ability to create the sharp, clear details. Imagery control. Ability to manipulate the images. Changing the speed of a runner in your mind. Changing physical dimensions, like imagine holding an apple in your hand and see it getting bigger and bigger. Type of the task. Cognitive skills versus motor skills. Cognitive skills improve more than motor skills. And finally, experience, novice versus experienced ones. Both benefit, but experienced performance benefit more. Imagery in many ways help you to improve physically and mentally. It helps you to improve your concentration, enhance motivation, build confidence, control emotional responses such as stress management, improving and learning new skills, improving and practicing new skills or old skills, or even for healing from injury. And finally, it helps you for problem solving. Thank you for listening to me. Now, we are going to have a quiz. Please click on this link and enter this code. You are all familiar with Gagne's 9 events of instruction. This video will also serve as a recap to what you already know, and we worked on it last week as well. Robert Gagne was an educational scholar noted for his work on the 9 events of instruction that are necessary for successful learning to occur. Gagne, 1916 to 2002, Briggs and Wager developed this theory. This theory is a 9-level theory, gaining attention, informing learners of objectives, stimulating recall of prior knowledge, presenting stimulus, providing a learner guidance, eliciting performance, providing feedback, assessing performance, and enhancing retention. Gagne's taxonomy consists of 5 categories of learning outcomes: verbal information, intellectual skills, cognitive strategies, attitudes, and motor skills. Intellectual skills is about knowing how or having procedural knowledge. Verbal information, being able to state ideas, knowing that, or having declarative knowledge. Cognitive strategies, having certain techniques of thinking, way of analyzing problems, and having approaches to solving problems. Motor skills, executing movements in a number of organized motor acts, such as playing sports or driving a car. Attitudes, mental states that influence the choice of personal actions. In Ghanaian learning theory, learners play an active role in their learning environment and are given the opportunity to help create their learning environment and ideal expectations with the assistance of an instructor. Learners need to be motivated, prepared, and needed to learn. Past experiences, prior knowledge, readiness, motivation, and active mindset play an important role. The learning setting and enforcement are important. The learners play an active role. The instructor is there to give assistance. Instructional principles. Ghanaian model of instructional design is based on the information processing model of the mental events that occur when adults are presenting with various stimuli. It focuses on the learning outcomes and how to arrange specific instructional events to achieve those outcomes. First level, reception, expectancy, retrieval, selective perception, semantic encoding, responding, reinforcement, retrieval, and generalization. This chart talks about the difference and similarities of Ghanaian, Osbel, and Piaget theory. There are some questions and some answers with the approach of different theories. How does learning occur? What factor influencing learning? What is the role of memory? How does transfer occur? And finally, what type of learning are best explaining by this theory? Why it works? Easy to follow, easy to apply, widely used in the design of instruction. It has considered mentally and physically aspects of learning, and finally, learner has an important role in learning. Thank you very much and have a great day.